after tomorrow, we move into Sunday, 30 degrees for a high. It'll be a great beach day. And if you are planning to go camping this long weekend,
where that occurs, here's the 5-day forecast showing that snowfall that will likely continue into Christmas Day and Boxing Day. So will it be a white Christmas? Yes, it is certainly looking like that at this point. Yes, so officially tomorrow morning it will be summer. Now it's not really going to feel like summer. I've got the forecast for you in a couple of seconds.
Fine. I hate maintenance. Maintenance is taking time and money to put into a car to make it as good as it was before. There's no upgrades, there's no benefits, it's just maintenance. And it's usually around this time that I'm doing about 2 years worth of back maintenance that I've been putting off that I think to myself, is now the time to sell it? And while there are a whole host of reasons why you might replace a used vehicle, I would say the most standard ones are the age of the vehicle you're replacing, the cost of the vehicle that you would replace it with, the condition, and the mileage. Those are all really the factors that you would think about when looking at a car. Although realistically, the main deciding factor is resale value and replacement cost, because even if your car has some issues, a new engine in a high mileage car can make it perfectly reliable. But if it's a low replacement cost and a low resale value on the car, it's never going to happen because you'll just buy another one. And that same thing can be said about just an old vehicle. Well, an old car with moderate mileage can be reliable if it's regularly serviced, but the same thing happens there is money. So off of that logic, my van needs replacement. It's high mileage and the work that I'll put into it is probably greater than its resale value, so I'll never get my money back. I mean, that's fair enough, but if I buy a slightly newer Delica, well, that's just going to be another old vehicle with someone else's problems. And if I replace it with something new, I mean a four-wheel drive diesel camper van with a hitch so I can tow small things, that's a Sprinter? At $100,000 for a Sprinter, wouldn't I be better off spending $20,000 on my $5,000 van and keeping it, rather than spending $100,000 on a new van? I'd save $75,000.
$75,000, all of it, every penny. You better start making sense.
But of course I've heard the cries, no, no, no. I'm not buying this new car because it's shiny. I'm buying this new car as an investment. I love that word. What I'll do is I'll keep it nice forever. I'll keep it nice, never let it go below its value. It'll never need work if I'm on top of it all the time. I'll buy one new car for the rest of my life. I'll drive the wheels off of it. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's not possible. You certainly could keep one new car nice for a very long period of time. And over time, it's probably gonna need many small repairs that you could keep on top of. Fair enough. It's not gonna happen though. Statistically, it's just unlikely. But this isn't specific to me with the Delica. I'm not saying now that I've looked at this van and gone, wow, it would cost $100,000 to replace it, I'm able to drop 20 grand on it because it's cheaper. This started out as a several $100 repair. What's made me think about this is countless of my friends have often had $2,000 to $3,000 cars that have need $2,000 to $3,000 worth of repairs that they don't do because it's not worth it. Instead, they go out and buy a $20,000 to $30,000 car to replace it, back to the investment strategy. But that thing's gonna lose 40% of its value year over year since the day you drive it off the lot, which is definitely worth more than the $3,000 to $4,000 it would have taken to fix your first car. The clear words of someone with 12 old cars telling you not to buy one new car. And who the hell am I to say that you shouldn't have a new car? They're fun. I buy a new to me old car every couple of months, so why shouldn't you be able to buy a new car? Especially since if I told you to stop buying new cars, and you did, well, I'd have no more used cars to buy. So my market would dry up. As I was editing this video, my van decided to give me the perfect example I was going to speak about in voiceover. And that was older cars, while they can still be fairly reliable, you're statistically more likely to run into unexpected issues. That's my brake pedal, by the way. I've completely lost all my brakes. This isn't to say this van is unreliable. I've only had 2 mechanical failures in 2 years, but it means that you do have to worry a little more than a newer car. And it's that unpredictability of the reliability that changes the favor of whether or not a used car is right for you. Because I don't have kids, they don't rely on me to get them home at the end of the day. So if my car breaks down, I can eventually switch the insurance to one of the other 2 that I have that works, or I can get a ride to work with one of my 2 coworkers that live on the way, or I can ride my bike. Breakdowns don't really affect me in a negative way that I'm like, oh no, I would definitely want a new car, so this doesn't happen. I like driving these, so I continue even though they sometimes break down. So where am I going with this? There is not one right answer of when you should replace your car, especially since everyone has a different idea of what their car says about them as well. I would happily drive a Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. I don't really care. But for a lot of people, what type of car they have says a lot about them. I'm sure there are plenty of people who wouldn't be caught dead in my Mitsubishi Delica. There is one constant that's the same for everyone. It's gotten really expensive to own a car lately.
Gas prices have spiked, averaging $3.75 a gallon.
Why are car insurance rates skyrocketing so quickly?
Rates up roughly 14% from last year.
Which is why spiking auto repair prices are hitting customers hard.
We know that gas prices are on the rise in California.
Shows the cost of vehicle maintenance and servicing is up nearly 9%. Worse, vehicle repairs are up 19.5%, 6 times the rate of inflation.
And don't worry, this isn't a video where I'm going to say everyone should ride a bicycle. That's coming later. The point of my video, and why you came along as I repaired my car, is that I'm done. It's repaired. I'm just putting it back together. I'm going to clean up and go inside. And now that I'm inside, I'm going to be doing some math. In the past 2 years, I've had to do about 5 different services to my Delica along with 3 oil changes. 3 of the services were to replace parts that were wearing out. 2 of the services were when I had mechanical failures like my brake master cylinder and my starter, where I had to do them immediately. If I look up on ShopKey, which is the service that shops use to estimate the time it's going to take to do a repair when they give you a quote, all of the repairs I've done on my van would take me about 9.7 hours. 9.7 hours at the average shop rate around where I live, which is $175 an hour, would put you at about $1,600 before tax and about $1,900 after tax. That doesn't include the parts, which I bought myself. Parts you buy privately versus parts you buy from a shop are usually marked up between 20 and 30% over retail because they get a discount and then mark them up about 50%. So 30% markup on the parts that I've spent, which was about $1,000, means I also saved about $295 in the parts that I bought alongside of the $1,900 in labor. These are also conservative estimates because every single one of these problems would have had to have had a diagnostic done on them before, which usually equates to about an hour or 2 of labor depending on the shop. And these 5 different invoices would have individually each had shop supplies and various fees that the shop might charge you when bringing the car into them. All of this together equates to about $2,295 very conservatively saved by doing the work myself. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I can't tell you when you need to replace your car because everyone has different requirements for what their car should be. But if you do your own oil change on a Ferrari, it doesn't diminish the fact that you have a Ferrari. $2,295 at the average wage in BC, which is what people trade their time for, which is about $34, would equate to 66 hours of going to work to fix your car versus the 9.5 hours I spent fixing it myself. That's a huge return. If you work a minimum wage job about $16.75 an hour at the time of filming this, that's 137 hours you would have spent on your car. That is insane, nearly working out to a month's wage fixing the car. With the prevalence of YouTube instructional videos that are so diverse that it likely has your specific make, model, and problem in an instruction video on YouTube, you can fix almost any car with a simple mechanic set for the regular jobs. Of course, mechanicing can be nuanced and you might need an alignment machine. I don't do those myself, but things like oil changes, brakes, suspension, small issues with running from sensors being faulty, all of this can be fixed at home at a great savings against what you would do at a shop, and all it takes is a little bit of time and watching a YouTube video. Own whatever car you would like, service it yourself, and you will save money.